This is Sonic CD for the Sega CD. Now, this game is fairly popular amongst fans, but admittedly, it's not really one of my favorite Sonic games. Not for lack of cool intro, though. Even heavily compressed, I still think that intro's cool. So the plot of the game is fairly simple. The Little Planet has appeared over Sonic's world, and of course, that means that Dr. Robotnik has chained it down in order to mechanize it. He's also after the Time Stones, which are gemstones that, true to their name, control time. So, we've got time-controlling stones, which means we also have a time travel gimmick. In each stage, there are signposts that read past or future, and if you go fast enough for long enough, you will be taken in whichever direction the signpost says. So we hit the past signpost, meaning we are in the past now. Of course, you start most stages in the present, and you can either go to the past or future from there. Of course, there won't be any past signs here, but there will be future signs to take us back to the present. Now, typically you're going to want to go to the past because in each level there is an object called the Robot Generator. Now, you're going to want to destroy these, and the reason being is actually the same reason you don't immediately want to go to the future. And it's pretty much because if you go to the future too soon, that was the Robot Generator, by the way, if you go to the future too soon, you will actually get a bad future. However, by destroying that Robot Generator, we would have gone to a good future, except the stage is over, so we're done. But the game does make note that we did make a good future, so even if you don't visit the future, you can still, make it good and be informed of that fact. So, you might have noticed back there that this game uses the Sonic 1 special stage entrance gimmick. Get 50 rings, get to the end of the stage, and jump into the gold ring. But these special stages are way different. We want to destroy all these UFOs. There are various panels around this place. However, you might also notice that not only does the water slow you down, it also rapidly decreases your time, so this is really risky. If your time hits 20 seconds, then a UFO will actually appear that you can hit for more time. That one doesn't count towards your UFO total, of course, but, if you need extra time, then there you go. That special stage was fairly easy, of course, but they do get really difficult. I'll describe some of the other stage elements later. We didn't really hit too many of them. Now, before we go on, there is one more thing in Act 1. So, there's one more story element that only appears in the present version of Act 1 of this stage, and that's Amy Rose. Back in her first incarnation, when her soul-defining characteristic has a crush on Sonic. Also, apparently, if you have a shield up, she'll actually bounce off you, which is pretty great, but yeah, she's just there to hug you. And that's it. That's her character in Act 1. Will she appear later? Yes, I'm not going to play coy about that. Alright, so, Act 2. I should point out that Sonic actually has two mobility moves. Of course, he has the Spin Dash that would be introduced in Sonic 2, but he also has a move called the Super Peel Out. Now, the Super Peel Out is essentially, I wouldn't say the opposite of the Spin Dash, but you do use it in basically the opposite way. Spin Dash, you press down in the action button, whereas the Super Peel Out, you hold up and press the action button. Now, that being said, the Super Peel Out does have some risks. It is faster than the Spin Dash, granted. However, it's also the move that you might have noticed does not have Sonic curl up into a ball, which means that Sonic is actually very vulnerable to being hit when he uses the Super Peel Out, so it's a bit of a riskier move. Now, this isn't quite Sonic Rush, or at least my experience of Sonic Rush, where if you're just moving around without any sort of protection from boosting, you'll probably get hit. But still, it's a bit of a risky move. Now that being said, there are situations in which you can pretty much be guaranteed that you won't run into any enemies. For example, in the good future, the robots will actually be gone, and there will be fewer traps, so it's better to just speed up by using the Super Peel out there. It's maybe not good for the past, present, or bad future where there are more enemies, though. Alright, so second special stage. Now, unlike Sonic 1, there are 7 gems, so even though the Time Stones aren't the Chaos Emeralds, we still have 7 to obtain. Now, you might have noticed those little Snippy Snap tiles. Oh, those are fans. They just do that. They give you sort of a very slow boost into the air. But the Snippy Snap ones, those will actually halt Sonic and take away some rings. Now, you can't die if you lose all your rings, but it either slows you down a lot or it might take down time if you get hit without any rings. We also ended the stage on a boost pad, which of course boosts Sonic in the direction they're facing. So, if you're used to classic Sonic games, past Sonic 1, the lack of boss before might have been a little bit confusing, but Sonic CD actually goes back to the 3-act structure. This is the stage we'll be fighting the boss in, and you'll also notice that we're in the future. You can tell if you're in the past or future depending on the life counter. They'll change to a P or F. And we also nabbed invincibility, so this first boss is a joke normally. Goodbye. That was nothing. Alright, so that's the end of the stage. However, I would like to show off the bad future version of the stage, which you get if you clear the zone... Oh, sorry, when you clear the round without getting good futures, you'll get the bad future for Act 3 instead, so... In addition to changed tile sets, each version of a stage also has different songs, and I love pretty much all of the bad future themes. This one is just so mechanical, and it goes along really well with this just utterly ruined environment. It's a great listen, but also, I should also mention the boss theme. Yeah, so, of course, you didn't really get to hear it before because I just wailed on Robotnik and he was gone in moments, but yeah, the boss theme is fantastic. Work that sucker to death. Come on now, work that sucker to death. And with that done, I'll see you next time.